Carmelo Anthony showed that his ego again gets in the way. Let me break it down for you folks, and for you Knicks fans that just want to Melo and to Jackson, I have a news flash for you. Wake up. Wake up. Because at 4-19, we knew this team was not making the playoffs. Phil Jackson knew this team was not making the playoffs. Everybody in the MSG and the Knicks front office knew this team was not making the playoffs at 4-19. At 5-25, they weren't making it. They started shipping people off. So why didn't they shut Carmelo Anthony down sooner? I would have shut him down at 4-19. You knew you weren't going anywhere. As bad as the Eastern Conference was, you knew you weren't going anywhere. But Melo had to play this All-Star game, which, by the way, nobody watched. Nobody. Saturday Night Live, a sketch comedy show that hasn't been good in years, dug up old cast members from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s and did a 14-2, and the NBA All-Star Game did a 5.4. You know why? Because nobody cares. And Carmelo had to play 30 minutes, 30 awful minutes, might I add, in an exhibition game that meant nothing. Just so he could feed his ego, just so he could be on TNT. And it's horrible. It was given out, All-Star Game tickets were given out to about 2,500 Knicks season ticket holders. Come on, how many die-hard Knicks fans were in MSG that night? Not a lot. Maybe 3,000. You had the family and friends of the players. You had the celebrities. Come on. It was anyone who wore their mug on TNT was in the stands. And Melo, you saw Melo dictate to Phil Jackson and Derek Fisher and James Dolan, I'm taking myself out of the ball game. I can give a flying fuck about the team or the season, but I'm going to be good to play the All-Star Game and play 30 minutes, and then I'm going to shut myself down. That's bull. That's bull. And this is why the Knicks will never win, or any team with Carmelo Anthony will never win. Do you know why? I'll tell you why again. Because he's all about himself. And I've had this discussion on WSA radio and MTR radio and Sirius and any other show I've been on, WXIN. He doesn't make guys around him better. He only cares about putting up his stats and getting shooting numbers, and that's all he cares about. And I don't know when people are going to figure this out about him. The Knicks would have been better off without Melo. Because then they started... If the Knicks were 10-41 now, well, listen, they got Melo on the team. And Melo's not playing. Melo's not playing. They could have let him walk, built younger, and there you go. But Phil Jackson had this weird vision that this was going to be a playoff team. Why? How? Why were they going to be a playoff team? All you had to do was look up and down the roster. They were battling for an 8th seed at best. And that was with Melo. The man has an ego the size of Texas. And the fact that he would dictate to his front office and his coaches that I'm going to play this meaningless all-star game. Because it's meaningless. Nobody cares about it. And, I mean, he didn't even do that good. He didn't even do that good. And he didn't do it for the Knicks fans of the Garden. He didn't do it for the Knicks. He didn't do it for the Mass. He didn't do it for New York. He did it for the same person that Carmelo Anthony has done everything else in his life for. Himself. Because that's all he cares about is himself. You think he cares about winning? He's getting $22 million. Again, about himself. The Knicks are losing basketball games, getting blown out right and left at 4-19 and 5-25. And he's in the newspaper, in the New York Post, posing for GQ. Come on! What am I missing here? He's the A-Rod of basketball. He cares about himself. He loves himself. The only difference is A-Rod cares more about winning than Carmelo Anthony does. He just makes you scratch your head. You know why he didn't go to Chicago? Because he would have had to pass the ball around. I'm not going to go to Chicago. I'm going to stay with the Knicks, suck for a couple of years, be the only guy that's getting points, putting up scoring numbers, making money, being in New York, and posing for fashion magazines. And he conned Knicks fans into making them believe that he cares about this team. He doesn't. He doesn't. He never did. He doesn't, and he never will. Melo cares about Melo, and that's never going to change, ever.